against the Warriors last night. Tonight, it is Trae Young. They got to find a way to get out and get him near the logo, Jen.
Well, he's another one that's just one of the best guards in the league. So they're really going to have to get some, good defense on him, try to contain him. I mean, a lot of him reminds me of Steph, just a tough player to guard. He's constantly moving, great off the high on-ball screen, can get to the rim, shoot the three, score from anywhere.
Molly, he averages almost 26 points a game, and he's over 9 assists a game. You like this matchup better for Oubre Jr. tonight more than last night against De'Aaron Fox.
Another challenge for Kelly Oubre. Early pickup point, important, and do not foul him. Big-time guy getting to the free throw line and making his free throws, Trae Young.
All right, Kelly Oubre Jr., as we told you yesterday, was not traded by the Warriors, but Jimmy's not been traded, but John Lynch made a huge trade today. What is Kyle Shanahan thinking? We'll check in with Matt Mayoka when we continue. Is this 49ers pregame live? No, it's Warriors pregame.
As far as the future goes, Klay's coming back and the ramifications there. Would you be comfortable staying with the Warriors if it meant coming off the bench next season?
I can't speak for the future, brother. So, you keep asking me questions like I'm a psychic. But at the end of the day, I'm growing. I'm honing in on my skills in this league, and I can offer a lot more than, coming off the bench. So at the end of the day, this is my life. So I can't tell the future. Only God can.
That was just one of the awkward exchanges on the Zoom postgame last night involving Kelly Oubre Jr. and the masses. So welcome back, a formal welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Comcast Business. Greg Papa with a pair of Hall of Famers, Chris Mullin and Jennifer Azzi. So we're going to hear from Bob Myers. He did talk to the media today, Molly, but, everybody in the media wants assurances. Are you going to resign? Are you going to start? These are things that have to be worked out in time, and that would be the offseason, not in the middle of a regular season.
Yeah, and I thought earlier in Kelly Oubre Jr.'s comments, he addressed all of that. He said the first hurdle was to stay here through the trade deadline. Second goal was to finish this season strong and accomplish the team goals, and then they'll get into free agency in the summer. So I thought he already addressed it. So to start asking him about his future role as far as minutes and starting and coming off the bench, and then to ask him about his money, then we're going to a whole nother level. And I think rightfully so, he ended the press conference.
Yeah, I think I would have gotten a little frustrated too, And, he's such a good piece of the puzzle here. To ask if he'd be willing to come off the bench, you just can't even predict that. There's injuries, there's other things. Plus, I think he's a great starter. I think he'd be great in the mix with Klay and Steph. So it's, been an interesting year for him, I would think, emotionally too, with the trade talks and everything that was going on early on.
He's played great basketball. He got through a tough month, which was really, that was a big-time struggle for him offensively. His defense was always on point, his energy, his effort, and then his offense has come along. And then, if you're going to ask him about his uncertainty, there's uncertainty with Klay Thompson. And that's why, to me, he makes even more sense moving forward to help Klay Thompson out, making that transition back from injury.
All right, Bob Myers did meet the media. There was about a 25-minute Q&A via Zoom, and Garrett Burke took part in that, and she's going to join us on Warriors Pregame Live, powered by Cisco WebEx. We thought maybe we'd get them last night, but it had to be delayed until the trades were officially official, and you were on that Zoom call. So tell me about what Bob was able to share about Oubre and all the Warriors' moves or non-moves yesterday.
Yeah, well, Oubre was obviously the question that was the most popular there, as we're still trying to gather some information. It's all because Oubre is an unrestricted free agent next season. So if the Warriors are wondering, is he going to walk this offseason? Is he going to test the market? Should they have gotten something for him now? Well, the answer is no, because he's here. It's after the trade deadline. So I started off by asking Bob Myers, how would you characterize the interest other teams had in Oubre? And here's what he had to say.
High level, he's a good player, and obviously people read what you say and your peers, and so I think a lot of people thought he might be available, but we value him too, and as evidenced by not trading him. I know it was mentioned, which is totally fine. That's the NBA we live in. A lot of players are mentioned, and it's harder probably on them you can tell a player that to take it as a compliment, but it's not me or you that's name is being mentioned as far as moving cities and jobs. But he handled it very well, and like I said, I think our actions spoke to how we view him.
Hey, Bob, it's Jason Dumas with Pron 4. Is the goal to retain him in free agency this summer and try to keep him in your plans moving forward?
Yeah, look, the first goal is to win the game tonight and then try to do well the rest of the season and then evaluate everything after that. But Kelly's done a great job. He's been kind of rumored since he showed up a little bit. Are we going to keep him or are we not going to keep him? And he's done a good job of just playing basketball. And those are conversations we'll have. I can't, per the rules, promise anything, but we like Kelly and we'd love to be able to see him in our future plans. But that's 4, 5, 6 months away, and we'll see what happens with us. And obviously it takes two. So that decision will be made down the line.
All right, so I heard a couple things there. First, the Warriors like Kelly. 2, conversations with him will happen this summer when it's more appropriate to talk about these things. And third, it takes 2 in this conversation. So some of this is in Kelly's court, so to speak. As an unrestricted free agent, it would be wise just with business considerations to consider other offers from teams who can pay him the most money, who can guarantee him a role that he would like to play. Because when Kelly got that question last night, would you consider a reduced role if you're coming off the bench behind Klay Thompson? And he said, I can offer more than a bench role. So a lot of this Kelly has to decide, and we just don't have those answers right now. It's more a summer conversation.
Man, I think the Warriors have a role for him tonight, Kareth, and that is to guard the great Trae Young. And
photo that went viral. I mean, that says it all. That was embarrassing. I mean, to have one little weight rack and then you have this amazing, training facility. I mean, that's a simple fix, right? That never should have happened.
Well, the fact that it did happen was disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the fact that they actually put that there, so there was some thought process to it, right?
We have
I would rather have nothing and say, "Oh, we forgot," but they actually put one little rack in.
Yeah.
And firsthand with Jennifer,
yeah,
seriously, I said the other night, the women's soccer players, the basketball players, they work so hard and they're so talented in a lot of ways, as good or better than the men. I really believe that, fundamentally sound, and they rely on their teammates more. I played with Jennifer when she was at Stanford. And the opening show this season, one of my top 4 or 5 point guards ever, because she was a great player. She had high IQ, intense, and incredible, just competitive spirit and love of the game. So when you have all that, I mean, it's just amazing. I'm so happy for Megan Rapinoe, and she's a true leader.
Oh, she is.
Stepping up big time.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, too, because I think guys that were around us as we were, kind of growing in our game, in the women's game, all the guys from the NBA were a lot like you in that they were very respectful and very supportive. But outside of that, because I think it was athletes are athletes, basketball players are basketball players. And so we had tremendous respect there, but certainly we're not treated equally outside of that realm.
Game knows game. Yeah. And if you're not in the game, maybe you don't know.
And
right?
it's an eye-opener, too. Because I probably went down there for a light workout.
And
but after 10 minutes, I'm like, well, I got to play. I don't want to embarrass myself here. Yeah. And then it became enjoyable. Yeah. And I got as much out of it as you guys did.
That was fun.
We love this behind us. Yes. Empowerment Month and Women's Empowerment Month and what it means. So as we continue to celebrate this month of March here at NBC Sports Bay Area, we're honoring girl dads. As we can see, Steph Curry takes his job as a father very seriously, and you see a couple of adorable daughters, as does head coach Steve Kerr. So with Howard, she's got a little sass in her as well. I think that's the young one, Ryan, right? It was Riley earlier. So let's check in with Steve Kerr. He takes his job seriously as well as being a father of a daughter. So without further ado, here's Girl Dad, presented by First 5 California.
I mean, being a girl dad is just leaning into being present, being available. A vision of how a man should treat, a woman. I think for us, we have to be that model. and it opens up a different side of you that you may not have, knew was there before, but it's the best thing in the world.
I have one daughter and two sons, and when I think of being a girl dad, I think of the special connection I have with my daughter that's just different from the connection I have with my sons. It's a different relationship. Father-daughter, there's nothing like it. My daughter can do no wrong, no matter what she does, and that's sort of how it works being a girl dad. You just see all the beauty and all the love in your daughter, and you're definitely biased. That's just the way it is, and I will always have that special connection with my daughter.
The smile on your daughter's face when you walk in the house, or when you pay attention to something that they're interested in, or that you lean in and you're available and present, that makes such an impact on the way that they see life and see those type of interactions, and shapes their expectation for later in life. So that's my job as a dad, and it's the best job in the world.
My daughter, Maddie, has empowered me in a lot of ways. We've always shared a really special connection, and I've tried to empower her from birth, just to be herself and to embrace life and to embrace her passions, and that's exactly what she's done. She played volleyball at Cal. She's getting her law degree from Cal right now. I don't feel like I have to empower her at this point. I feel like she's the one who's inspiring me and empowering me.
Man, that is just terrific. And to me, that symbolizes why the Warriors are the Warriors. Even Bob Myers, #GirlDad, he's got a couple of girls. The two leaders of your organization, the head coach and the best player to ever play here, they're just quality people. They do play basketball and coach at the highest level, but they're quality people.
Well, they are, and what I love about the two of them, too, and Bob, it extends beyond their immediate family. I mean, Steph had, the first all-girls camp run by an NBA player in Oakland, and, he just does tremendous things, he and his wife both, in the community for young women so that they can all believe in themselves and their dreams, just like they're instilling in their own daughters.
Yeah, and using their platform, that's a trendy term now, but they use it with awareness, and they branch out into all different areas. And Steve and Steph, incredible, like you said, coached and players, but their impact goes way beyond the basketball court. And you have a daughter. I got 3 boys, and my youngest daughter, Kira. And I would say the same thing. She brings out the better side of me, and the sensitive, more emotional side. I try to empower her and give her confidence. But for sure, of all, I got the 3 boys and her, she challenges me more than the boys. She runs the house more so than the boys do.
I think that's what I'm in for, too. Having now one of each, my son Camden. Or my son Mac and my daughter Camden, and I have a feeling it's going to go that direction as well.
Well, I have 2 sons, but right after I'm done with this show, I've got to call and text Alexandra, Danielle, and Erica. Because we're all, #GirlDad.
Okay, and the answers are yes, yes, and yes.
Whatever you want.
You can have anything.
Can it wait till later? I got to do post-game live. The daughters, whatever you need. Isn't that true, though? Travis Schlag, speaking of Bob Myers, Travis was the Warriors' assistant GM for a long time. He's built in the Atlanta Hawks. They're 22-22 overall. They started 14-20. And then, somewhat interestingly, they decided to fire Lloyd Pierce and your friend Rod Higgins as an assistant GM there. Nate's doing a great job, Nate McMillan. Since he took over, they won 8 in a row. They have lost their last 2. They were beaten by the Clippers, and then the other night they lost a golden one. But obviously the star of their team is the great Trae Young, so we're to give credit. Brought to you by Provident Credit Union. And this guy, not only a great scorer from range, but also a great ball handler, Mully. This guy is the complete offensive package.
He sure is, and he's got great vision, as you said, Pop, incredible range. And tonight, really important to have an early pickup point. Much like Steph Curry, he'll pull up from any logo in the building and knock them down, Jen.
No, we're going to have to defend the three-point line. And, he moves a lot, and he can shake a lot like Steph Curry. I mean, I would say he's the closest in the league that would even remind me a little bit of Steph with, his ball handling ability, change of speed, change of direction, and just kind of throws people off just enough, Chris.
He's got an incredible feel for the game, a lot of herky-jerky moves. And he's got incredible court vision. Like Steph, he'll find his teammates. You mentioned Travis Schlenk. I heard him talking about when he gets doubled, giving that ball up early and trusting his teammates, which he's doing a better job of this year. And he's got some shooters around him.
He does. And I think his ability to create for them as a scorer is tremendous.
The one thing about him, for a little guy and he's slight of build, Steph developed this later in his career to be able to play through contact and draw fouls. This guy shoots 9 free throws a game, attempts, second most in the NBA to Giannis. He makes the most. He makes 8 free throws a game. So he is a 3-level scorer. He can score from the logo, but he gets on the free throw line, and he's a great foul shooter.
Well, that's been a constant theme almost every game this season. Stop fouling and putting people on the free throw line. But with Trae Young, he shoots 43% overall, 36 from the 3, but 87 from the free throw line. So you have to be able to live with some of those dynamic, deep three-point shots. Don't get discouraged. That's going to be a lot on Kelly Oubre tonight.
Well, definitely. And I think Kelly can contain him with his size and his length. But still, I mean, the guy can score, as we saw, from just about anywhere. And being dangerous from the free throw line just adds another level to his game.
Kelly Oubre Jr. will start, at point guard. Jordan Poole, there's a combo, but he'll guard the ball. But as you sub out, and this guy plays a lot of minutes, your backup point guard is going to have to guard him some, and that is Nico Mannion.
Mm-hmm.
Nico had a tremendous game last night offensively, a career high 19 points in Sacramento, made 5 games. So a little bit of an acting job there by Dwight Howard, but he was with the Lakers last year to get their 17th NBA championship to tie the Boston Celtics for the most. And they won 5 during the decade of the 80s. Have you guys heard about what HBO is doing? This is the cast of HBO's 1980s LA Lakers drama. So we have John C. Reilly playing Dr. Jerry Buss, which I really like. Jason Clarke, you see a resemblance there to a young logo? John C. Reilly as Dr. Buss is a killer. Look at that. Exactly. You got the comb over going. Irvin Magic Johnson is Quincy. Isaiah is the great Irvin Johnson. This is all on the Showtime LA Lakers. Kareem, little like Cap.
Yeah.
Solomon Hughes is Kareem. Abdul-Jabbar. They actually have Norm Nixon's son playing Norm Nixon. So this will be great. And we got to check this out because you played against those teams, Molly. You know how great they were.
Dynasty, like the Warriors, the 5 years that they went to the finals, and just incredible historic stars with Magic, Kareem, James Worthy, Michael Cooper, incredible Norm Nixon, you said. And I don't know, when I see John C. Reilly, though, I just see Step Brothers. I'm gonna have to ease my way into the Jerry Buss role.
That is a great underrated Will Ferrell movie. But John C. Reilly is a very deep actor. He can do comedy, but he can do everything. So this is something you got to see, right?
Well, yeah, but I think they did a nice job when you put the photos side by side with
and
the cast.
Whoever's playing Kareem, warm up your shoulder because you got a few sky hooks coming.
All right. So we're looking at the great actors that are going to play, guys that we know. You guys are both in the Hall of Fame. So who should I start with here? I'll go with Mully. No, I'll go with Jennifer Azzi. Oh, my. Wow.
Well, I take it as a compliment. Wow. Thank you.
Did you pick Demi Moore? Demi? Is it Demi Moore or Demi? Did you pick her or did we pick her?
You picked her. Somebody picked her.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Oh, my Lord. The eyes look exactly.
And the bangs.
Have you gotten that before?
I have gotten that before, but the bangs are kind of what sells it, I think.
So if we ever do something on Tara's great Stanford teams, you got Demi Moore?
There we go.
I don't know if she can play who.
Pretty good.
Oh, my Lord. Are you talking to me? You're talking to me.
Come on, the one and only.
You actually sent us a picture of this, so you've done this before.
That's perfect.
Huh?
No,
Robert De Niro?
But my 2 favorite movies of all, 3. Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Godfather 1 and 2, and Goodfellas.
He was in Godfather 2.
Bobby De Niro.
The young Don Corleone. So I got to go with the guy that was in Godfather. And I don't look like him. No, I don't look like him at all.
That's pretty good.
That's aged. Well, I had to pick a short Italian guy. So I was going to go Woody Allen. And I thought, well, that's just a joke. And I wanted to have George Clooney do it, but that wouldn't work either.
You could have been in Godfather 3.
I could have been.
Godfather 3.
Would I have been the young Michael? Godfather 3, the coda? Have you seen where Michael gets assassinated? The coda. Good stuff. You look, me more and incredible.
You gotta go right to the top. Go right to the top.
Bobby De Niro's your guy. All right, Comcast Every Connection Counts is Baron Davis, who has dabbled in a little acting, by the way. He is an eclectic guy. He can make threes, he can dunk on AK-47, and he can sit down with our direct Right, get in my belly. So the topic here, you're going to hear more of this on Monday on Warriors pregame live and postgame live, and the Warriors play the Chicago Bulls. But here is the right corner, a little snippet. Darrell Wright in conversation with Lord Barron about the GM that brought him to the Bay.
In that we believe moment, I was hurt. So I hurt my knee, dog. I had knee surgery. People don't remember this. And so I was out for like 3 weeks anyway. And Mully came down to LA and he was like, yo, bro, we just need you back. And I was like, what do you need? He was like, man, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He was like, I'll work out with you. I was like, you'll work out with me? He was like, yeah. So me, Mully, and Mitch Richmond, when I got out of my surgery, when I first started to like do court work, those were the dudes that was working me out.
That's crazy. That's
why I was juiced. Because imagine working out with Mully and Mitch, and then after that, you talking to them about their legacy and what they was doing. I was like, damn, dog, I gotta get back on the court. We gotta get to the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're going to the right corner on Monday. Chicago Bulls are in. You'll see more of this. Many segments of Darrell Wright's great sit-down with Lord Baron Davis. That'll be Monday on Warriors pregame live right here at NBC Sports Bay Area. Would you like to respond, Molly?
I mean, that just brings a smile to my face. Baron Davis was an incredibly gifted player. And you see, the highlight dunks, but most importantly, the crowd. He brought the crowd back. He really brought the excitement back to Oakland. A player that, I just love watching him, but that story's true. We needed him back, and he worked his tail off after surgery. And I think we went 9-1 to finish the season.
To get in.
And then we had the incredible upset of Dallas and a very close, tough series with Utah.
Well, what I remember about watching him is it's his energy. So I could see why you just wanted him back, even if it was 10 minutes but what he did for the entire team, whether he was on the bench, in the locker room, on the court, just full of energy and passion.
Totally respected throughout the league. He was a star of stars. And like you said, Jennifer, he was charismatic. And when we made that trade for Steven Jackson and Al Harrington, they felt way more comfortable coming here because of Baron Davis's status.
To me, he's a little bit like Tim Hardaway. Just an undersized point guard. He's yapping in your face and the heartbeat of the team. You played with Tim Hardaway. Did you see a little bit in Tim Hardaway when you went to get him?
Absolutely. Once we got Baron, we had a totally different team. That's why I brought Nelly in, because I saw a lot of Tim Hardaway and Baron Davis. And both guys, you said they would talk, but most importantly, they would back it up. And one of the most talented players I've ever seen in the NBA.
And his dunk against AK-47 in the next round against the Utah Jazz. That's really when Oracle Arena got the nickname Roracle. And we've heard it when the Warriors won championships, went to the finals 5 straight years. But those of us that have been around since the 80s, Mully, I'm not sure it's ever been louder than what he was able to pull off, beating Dallas and then the dunk on Kirilenko.
No question. And you've been around a long time, Pop, and you've seen the crowds come and go a little bit. But that particular play, that's the loudest building I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
Yes.
And he deserved it too,
no
right?
question.
Without question. All right, now to the other side of it. The Warriors did not play well last night, and one man in particular, one young man, he's just 19 years of age, had what you called, Mully, his worst game of the NBA. On-court production, his body language was not strong. What will James Wiseman do tonight? Clint Capella is a rebounding fool. A shot, 24 seconds. They could have just held the game out. He shot the ball. The game wound up going to overtime. But Mark Jackson empowered him, and Steph, obviously, with the ankles, had his situations early. But you were clear last night that he's got to rev it up. James Wiseman did not play with enough motor last night. Capella is the leading offensive rebounder in the NBA. So what do you want to see from Wiseman tonight after what happened last night in Sac, Mully?
Well, I'm a huge fan of James Wiseman. I firmly believe he's going to be a perennial all-star. I love all his talent. I love everything about him. I was coming from what I saw last night during the game, and that's energy, consistent effort. We always hear that he's the fastest big man in the league, and with that comes the responsibility, Jennifer, of sprinting every single time, not picking and choosing when you're going to run the floor. And if you do make mistakes, which we all do, don't show it with your body language.
Well, it gets back to control the controllables, right? And having coached at a high level, that the last thing you want to be talking about with a player is energy and effort. And those are the two things he can control. And if he puts forth the energy and the effort, he's going to play well. because he's a good player. And I'm with you. I'm a Wiseman fan. I think the sky's the limit for him, but he can't get down. This is his youth showing, I think, is getting down about mistakes. You got to let it go.
And when you come off a tough game, that next game is really important to get back to basics. What can I do to change, my influence on the game? And it's not about stats. To me, it's strictly about energy, effort, and running, and he's more than capable of doing that each and every night.
Without question. And that first year in the NBA can be a real eye-opener for a lot of guys. And he has a guy in his own roster he could ask about. Jordan Poole really struggled last year, and to watch him playing so much better. Monty Poole, who was in studio with us last night on Warriors Pregame Live and Postgame Live, joins us now, powered by Cisco WebEx. So, Jordan Poole, you go back last year, and he was the 28th overall pick of the draft. He wasn't number 2. But people were already, 1 year in, they're saying he's a bust. He's not going to be a player. He goes to the G League last year, plays better coming out this year, much better. So without Steph Curry, what do you think is the role now for Jordan Poole, Monty?
Well, I think Jordan right now has got to be the point guard. I mean, he's dynamic. He's able to get his own shot. He had, I think, 5 assists last night in Sacramento. So right now, if Steph Curry's not out there, he's going to be the guy who sort of gets the offense going one way or the other. He can get his own shot, like I said, but also, he's able to sort of get other guys involved. I think he did a good job of that last night, even though, they got blown off the court. I don't think it was Jordan's necessarily his fault that left them in such a bad situation. It was their defense. So I think his development is coming along very nicely. I think last year at this time, there were people who wondered, is he even an NBA player? Well, now nobody wonders that anymore. So we're seeing the fruits of his labor.
All right, Monty Poole, thank you for joining us as always. We're reading